Hello and good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever this virtual Dreamforce experience finds you. I'm Angela Lester, and I'm the US Design and Innovation Salesforce Principal at PwC. And I'm excited to have the privilege of moderating today's discussion centered around how PepsiCo transformed their frontline experience with consumer goods cloud to become faster, stronger, and better together. Our guests today have both led fundamental multi-year transformations that ultimately opened the path to this exciting transformation that we will focus on today. I'm excited to be here with Johannes Evenblich, President of the Pepsi Beverages of North America West Division, and Ian Martin, VP of Transformation for Pepsi Beverages of North America. Johannes, Ian, welcome.
Thank you. Very excited to be here.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Great. So let's start with a little background on this transformation.
Absolutely. It all starts with Ramon's vision of and ask of all of us at PepsiCo to become a faster company, to become stronger and also a better company. And if you think about it, it's just a massive opportunity to digitize the company in order to achieve that big vision. And where we decided to start is at the heart of our company, which is a commercial function. That's where we believe we will get the most value to our consumers. And our vision is, I think it's simple, but very tough to achieve, which is to deliver what the consumers want when they want it. And this requires a system that is very much more granular and dynamic in what we do. This is a massive challenge. We're talking about a business that it's about $22 billion, the beverage business in the US. But not only that, we have thousands of SKUs. It's more than 10,000 people that we need to impact, more than 300 warehouses. It's just a massive undertaking that we need to do from a transformation perspective in terms of change management. So it's exciting.
Fantastic. Thank you. And Ian, maybe turning to you, you had many choices in terms of the technical solution that this could have been built on. So can you just give us a sense of why was it built on Salesforce Consumer Goods Cloud? And, why did you select that? And why did you select PwC for this particular initiative?
Yeah, there's two components to it. One is, I would say, the cloud migration is a big undertaking that we've been doing across many areas of our business for all the benefits that cloud offers with security, controls, automation, analytics. There's a lot of benefits of a cloud environment. And then within Pepsi Beverages specifically, we have a long history of developing cutting-edge tools for our frontline. I think we developed a lot of really great first-generation tools utilizing the handheld iPhones over the last dozen years or so. And what I saw with CG Cloud was an opportunity to kind of marry up a really dynamic platform that was one of the best in class, share leader in this space, with the internal Pepsi know-how about how to utilize these tools and bring them to life for our frontline. So I think that it's a really great platform for us. I'm really excited about not just the things that we're building right now today in the current program, but the fact that this sets us up for the next generation of tools that we can continue to build upon and innovate for our frontline.
And I know the journey has been going on for a little while. You're very close to launching MVP. And so, I'd like to shift a little bit around sort of how you've made this program effective and some of the challenges that you needed to overcome perhaps quickly as you moved through this agile program. What was some of the learnings that you'd like to share, Ian, for our team?
Yeah, so I think it really starts with a strong foundation, really making sure that we do the prep work up front, understanding, the roadmap, understanding what we need to go build and solve for, making that really clear for the teams. They need to be able to hit the ground running and move fast. But one of the challenges I think that comes from an agile environment is when you are, moving in those sprints, you do need to come up for air. You need to still stop, take a step back, take a look at, the end product, ensure that your goals haven't changed, that the consumer environment hasn't changed. We actually recently did this where we brought the team together. We kind of took a little break from the Scrum team work and, took 2 days and just assessed what we had accomplished, what our goals were, reaffirmed what we needed to go get done. And it really left the team feeling, invigorated and ready to go back and, continue to build towards this end state that we all know is crucial for Pepsi beverages. And I think another thing too is you have to stay wired with senior leadership within the organization. It requires a lot of governance. It requires a lot of process to manage the different meeting flow to make sure that we are communicating with folks, that we're not letting too many meetings distract the working teams, and that we're having really controlled conversations. Because with a tool like this, it's as dynamic as it is, it's as large in scale as it is, as Johannes highlighted, things can get sideways. So you have to have a really strong governance sort of PMO process, and you have to be wired with senior leadership and have that senior leadership support to make sure that you're still able to, provide your teams a clear end state vision on what the organization is looking for us to go build.
And Johannes, when you reflect sort of on the stakeholder alignment that's necessary for these large digital transformations and the type of buy-in that you need to get throughout the organizations, did you experience any challenges, or do you feel like also on the stakeholder side you were able to have a strong support that was required throughout the program to have the success that you're seeing today?
Definitely, having stakeholder alignment is one of the key challenges when you do these transformations. And I've learned several things. One is it starts probably with a coalition of people who are excited about doing it, but very quickly you need to get more stakeholders involved in, and it becomes more of a group effort rather than just a small group of people who want to do it, because these things are massive and you need really a lot of big clouds to get it done. The second I'll tell you is you need to have very clear governance and a process of just very often listening to what people want to do. And that helps you, one, to make people more at ease with the project because they feel that they're listened. And if they have a concern, there are ways of just raising those issues. And that reduces the resistance. The other thing I'll tell you that in my experience has been very important is to clarify very quickly what is the business case and what is the benefit for the business and for each one of the parties that are involved. That helps reduce a lot of the resistance and also a lot of the fears and the uncertainty about what this will cost and what's the impact on the business.
Thank you for that. So, one of the things that I'd like to go back to is the original vision and how you ultimately stayed true to that vision all the way through the program. So obviously, we all know that everything is always centered on faster, stronger, and better in order to get the type of tangible growth, profitability, and lower cost to serve. But the vision was one that was very human-centered as well. It was really about putting that frontliner at the center and ensuring that whatever you were building was really built for them and that it honored really their role in the organization and it would make their role more efficient. Is that unique to the way you do things in the sectors, or is that a common approach that you use on other programs as well?
This program was very much a market-led program, though. We listened to what our local teams had to say. We gathered their feedback. We captured their pain points. We worked with them on what the ideal solution would be. And we're staying connected with them throughout the program to make sure that the tools that we're developing, that the solutions and business processes we're enabling are going to help them to succeed in their jobs. So it's definitely a key focus within beverages, and I would say not unique to our sector. That's a PepsiCo trait.
Yeah, I would add to that, we're a people business. If you think about it, everything we do is really, and we're successful through our frontline, through our people. So I think to Ian's point, that's always at the center of everything we do. How do we make sure that whatever we do, it makes their lives easier? And we're not looking to, let's say, substitute people through technology. What we're trying to do is enable them and make them more productive and eliminate those things that are just very routine, don't add a lot of work, and allow them to spend their time on value-added work. And every time we do one of these efforts, that's at the core of what we're asking and the business case that we look for.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that I've seen is obviously as a brand, you're experts at branding and marketing and putting out a new product in the marketplace to your consumers and to your customers. And in many ways, you used a very similar approach here. right? You meticulously came in with a name that resonates to your frontliners. You have a beautiful logo that fits within your design system of Pepsi, a full design system that not only works within the application, but will go into the full change management, learning, the event for the launch of the program. And every detail was so meticulously crafted to speak to these frontliners. So when you reflect on that, I'd love to hear like how important you think all those little elements that were pulled together will make a difference ultimately to your business outcomes with these frontliners.
I think what it really starts with is, Pepsi is a world-class organization, and we want to have world-class tools, and we want them to look world-class, feel world-class. So we really did want to have a good design for the program. And that's actually even some of the feedback about some of our past tools was, the functionality may have been there, but it was just looked clunky, didn't have a good UX. Maybe it got the job done, but, people don't want to be working in, antiquated platforms. In a company like Pepsi, we should be able to provide our frontline employees, that best-in-class tool that they're looking for. The other thing that's going on is, the new workforce assumes technology. They're going to come through the doors expecting us to have applications, software, analytics, all at their fingertips. They've lived with their phones in their hands. And if you come into an organization like Pepsi and you hand them a piece of paper and a pencil and tell them to go start writing things down, they're going to look at you sideways. We want to make sure that we ensure that they know that we're investing in them with this tool, that we want them to have a sense of pride when they're out in the market talking to their customers or even up against the competition selling. We want them to have the sharpest, best tool. We want them to have the easiest access to, consumer information, analytics to help them, be first to get that sale, to, execute those programs flawlessly. And, I think knowing that we're investing in them will help us in our goals of attracting the best and brightest talent. So I'm really happy that we're able to play a part in this. And I will also say this was the first time in my career that I've done something like this sort of a, very marketing forward approach. It's not easy, but, I definitely think the juice is worth the squeeze, and it's really going to help us with our program, with adoption. And really, I think, instill that sense of pride that I highlighted we're looking for.
And I think from a change management perspective, it's very important as it signals
Yes.
that it's one of the most important projects in the company. And this is something you need to get on the boat.
I'd love to hear how this program either is reflective of the way you do things at PBNA overall, or if you've really kind of pushed the boundaries differently this time. And how do you expect this launch to be compared to other launches that you've done in the past?
For this program, I'd say we're definitely pushing boundaries. This is a massive program, as Johannes highlighted earlier. We're touching a lot of people. We're touching a lot of different areas of the business. And, that requires us coordinating, multiple pilots, operational pilots that are kind of more focused on changing the process. There's also other technology programs that are underway that we're going to utilize the CRM tool to embed into our program. So that requires close coordination. And we're able to do that, I think, with the governance that I've spoken about, Johannes highlighted earlier, and that really critical stakeholder management that Johannes talked about that is a big part of this program, making sure we bring everyone along, that we've got the facts, that we've got the data points, we've got the proof points that can make the organization comfortable that we're moving the right way, and that the tool can enable all of the upside that we are attaching to it.
Yeah, so you've talked a lot about not only going to the cloud, using Salesforce Consumer Cloud, the type of skill sets you've had to put in place, the focus on your human-centered process. But you also touched on some of the skill sets and some of the capabilities that you're building out with this tool, some of the intelligence that will bring to the market. Can you give me some examples, Ian, on some of these capabilities that will be new to the program that you've identified throughout the process and how you plan to sort of roll them out throughout all these different MVP pilots?
And one of the key things I think this program has done is it's really helped, I think, bridge the internal technology teams we have at Pepsi, because we have been building a very large contingent of folks that specialize in technology, that specialize in data, that want to help our organization transform and and be future proof. And then we have a frontline team that doesn't again wake up every day thinking about all the ways that they can embed technology in their work. This is, I think, a first step in sort of bringing those two together. We're going to see how it goes, but I really think it's going to transform the mindset and help us push the boundaries even more.
That's great. So, let's think ahead, Johannes. Let's imagine now this is live and all these great new capabilities, insights, analytics, faster ways of doing business are going to come to your frontliners. Maybe you can help the audience understand just a little bit about what do frontliners do, in general for you. And then how will this actually change the way not only they will do business, but the way they'll be engaging with your customers in the future?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So basically what our frontline does is they sell, they merchandise, and basically they're taking the product to the stores. And what these applications are going to do is they're going to help them, because by the way, our frontline are very proud of the work they do, and they really want to provide the best service they can to the customers. And through the technology that we're going to have, we're absolutely going to enable that. So they're going to be able to, number one, sell more, which for them will mean they will earn more. But very importantly, they're going to provide better service. They're going to have analytics that will help them sell the right products for those customers at the right time. And as Ian was saying, even have access to external data to even get better in their recommendations. And not only that, they will be able to do it in less time. Why? Because throughout this process, we identified several improvements that we can make to the different processes that we have for selling, for merchandising, for delivering, and we eliminate a lot of things that which are just not adding value. So that basically, in a nutshell, it's selling more, better service in less time. So that's fantastic for the frontline.
That's wonderful. So when we start thinking about what happens after this, like what's next for PBNA? Like what are you starting to think about?
Yeah, I think the amazing thing is you have now a foundation of data analytics that you can tap on to create new use cases. And I think we have probably more use cases than we can deliver in the next couple of years in terms of things we want to do. So we have a great journey ahead of us in terms of how, if you think about it, the system that we have just has millions of touch points with consumers and customers. So the richness of data that we will have is just one of the best systems that is out there in the country. So just delivering more use cases from that data is just an incredible journey ahead for all of us.
And I would just add too, is I think what we're also going to see is that acceleration. Things will move faster now once we get the kind of platform out there, that foundation, as Johannes highlighted. Not everything is going to take as long or be as much of a change. As once we lay this foundation, it will be a little bit of an easier, rollout, a little bit of an easier integration. We'll have more folks helping us think through it. We'll have more people, thinking about the art of the possibility versus questioning, the investment or questioning the change, the amount of change and the pace of change. I think we're really going to take a leap forward with that next year once we roll this tool out and people see it, can touch it, can feel it. It's no longer just a concept or an idea on a page. It becomes something tangible that's in the hands of 25,000 frontline employees.
That's fantastic. Johannes, Ian, thank you so much for the time you took to help us understand this complex transformation. It's one of those type of projects that come rarely and are incredibly complex to do well. So I'm sure the audience has appreciated really understanding your insights, how you planned for it, how you imagine the future, and how you leverage the technology with Salesforce and other parts coming together to really deliver this transformation. So I appreciate your participation. And to the audience that has been with us today, thank you for joining, and we hope to see you in person in the next Dreamforce event.